I am slowly making my way through the collection, doing repots, refreshes, looking over everyone, seeing what they need. I'm in a kind of a big, you know, going through that process right now. It has hit June, so we are into the growing season. Plants have already taken off, so it's really the perfect time to do this. There's a good chunk of the summer left. So I did a plant chores video recently where I kind of started this process. I've made lists as I normally do. If you followed me for a while, you might know my process of doing things like this. Just checking in with the whole collection. It starts with lists. I make lists of everything that needs a refresh, a stake, a repot, whatever it is. I'll then count the amount of pots that I need, of what size, so that I don't like overbuy or anything like that. And yeah, we're going through it. This is just a repotting session. We may have more of them in the very near future, but that is where we are at. So I thought I would film some of that today. We can just have a little chat and we can chill out a little bit and enjoy repotting plants, which, to be honest, is probably my favorite thing to do. It's my favorite plant chore. I love just sticking on a YouTube video or a movie or whatever and just sitting there and repotting. I find the process really, really nice and relaxing. If you don't get new plants very often, like I do, this doesn't happen as often as you think it might for somebody that has such a large collection. So yes, I have a lot of plants. A lot of them are in very big pots and don't really need repotting. Maybe once every 1 to 2 years. Yeah, the smaller ones definitely do need it, but it's not that much of a task, honestly. The first plant that I want to repot is this Asparagus falcatus plant that I got. I did actually show this in a video. This is a new plant, even though I just said I don't buy them. Not very often, okay? Not very often. I really like the look of this. It's really kind of straggly. It's hard to see a little bit, but it is beautiful. It is drying out quite a lot in this nursery pot that it has, so I'm going to give it a new pot. So I have varied pot sizes here. I have my plastic bin with my soil mix. I recently did a big substrates deep dive, and here is a look at my soil mix, I guess. So we have coconut coir, we have worm castings, we have bark, we have cerami, we have perlite, we have a bit of leca, and that is my preferred mix. This is what it looks like. Quite chunky, but good moisture retention, plenty of nutrients, and yeah, love it. So what will I put this in? I put it in one of these, make it tall. That could be quite nice, actually. Yeah, I think I will do that because it looks cute. So also standard for me, I always put coffee filters, organic coffee filters in the bottom of my pots just to cover the drainage holes and make sure that soil doesn't get washed through until it's kind of compacted a bit, and also it's obviously a permeable material. Water can get through very easily, so I also find that when it kind of degrades, it goes quite nicely. It can also be composted. So, gloves on. So one thing maybe to discuss, if you aren't a Patreon, you're probably not aware, but I have decided to stop my Patreon. There are a number of reasons for this. I explained it all to my patrons in a bonus video, the last bonus video. It is a bit bittersweet to say goodbye. I think it's sad. I've been doing it for about a year now. I definitely could have done a better job, I think, but life happens, and I feel like there was an element of Patreon that was kind of not working with my creativity or something like that, and it didn't really feel fair to me to continue, you know, having paid paid people. Whoa. Yes, dry. Look how amazingly, so see the pattern on the inside of the pot. Look how amazingly the roots have copied that. It's really unreal, like how much they were trying to find some other way to get out. It's not a bad mix. There is some kind of smaller perlite here. There's fiber, coconut fiber, maybe a bit of bark. It's quite nice, but not enough moisture retention and needs to be up potted. So that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, it didn't feel fair to me to, I guess, just have paying members when I didn't think the quality was very good. I don't also feel that people engaged with it very well, like it wasn't speaking to people, and that's fine. But I know when to kind of realize that, and it's good to be able to, you know, not just continue with something for the sake of it, because it's there and it exists, and I said I was going to do it. I gave it a year and I just don't think it really worked for me or for the patrons. So yeah, bit bittersweet. So that is why you will no longer be seeing my lovely patron's name at the end of the end cards. I am going to miss you guys. But yeah, I mean, I think for right now it's better for me to just focus on the main channel and continue with that. Now, it's not to say in the future I may consider having memberships on YouTube instead, but for now I'm just going to take a break, see how I feel with having that extra time every month instead of doing the bonus video, see where that takes me. Maybe it takes me to more creative YouTube videos and I'm happy with that. Maybe it doesn't, you know, we'll just see. But I think it was just a natural end, it being a year past when I started and everything. But I do just want to shout out here, as I did in the bonus video, that thank you so much to anybody who became a patron and who supported me. You know who you are, especially those of you that stuck around for such a long time. Your support and, you know, your support with that is not unnoticed and is greatly appreciated, and I still think it's crazy that somebody would even want to be a patron, so thank you so much. But yeah, that is Patreon. So this pot is not necessarily wider, it's a tiny bit wider, but it's mainly just deeper, and that might suit this plant. That is that, Asparagus falcatus. Beautiful. I think it really suits the look of this, and it's not dead yet. I've had it for quite a few weeks now and it looks grand. So next one I want to do is, I think, my Begonia Griffin. I actually topped this up with soil recently, but I think it needs a bit more. So the issue I'm having with this plant, although absolutely gorgeous, is that I'm struggling to keep up with the watering, I think. The turnover of leaves is a lot. So I do have lots of new leaves coming all the time, but I have lots of leaves that are dying off at the same time. I think that not necessarily much larger pot is needed, but definitely want to move to a plastic situation, because I think the clay just doesn't necessarily work with this unless I went for a much larger clay. And it hasn't been that long since I've repotted this, I think. I want to see the roots of this for sure. Pot wise, maybe I will use this one. It's quite big, but yeah, I think that's good. Outside of that, I'd like to check in with my subscribers. So how are you guys all doing? It's been a while since I've done a kind of a chatty video like this, and I'd like to know how you guys are getting on. How are your lives going? How are your plants? Do you feel like your plant craze is wearing off or not? Do you think that it's going to be a lifelong kind of hobby? Do you think it's kind of a short-lived thing after the pandemic and all of that stuff? I think for me it will be continuous. I think my collection will likely change quite a bit, but I think it will always be a staple in my life, to be honest. I couldn't really imagine letting that go now. The ironic thing is that I topped this up with fresh soil like a week ago, but I've kind of changed my mind, so I'm just going to loosely wipe that off because it's going to fall out anyway. Oh, that came out really easily actually. So there are roots in the pot. Don't know why they didn't come out fully, but that is a big mess. But yeah, the roots have gotten to the edge. Obviously begonia roots, they're very fine, but they have kind of filled in and it is quite dry down there. But yeah, how are you guys all doing? How is the channel doing? Are you enjoying the content? I'm really trying to do a mix of the more educational stuff and not. The educational stuff is hard though, because like I will say that whenever you try to do anything educational or just like, not even educational is the word I think, because I'm not like a formally trained horticulturalist or anything like that, but I just guess information sharing is probably a better way to say it. And people really, it's difficult because there will always be people that don't agree with the way you've said something or the way that I approach my plant care or whatever it is, and people have a lot of opinions, which they are fully entitled to have, of course. It's just, I don't know, sometimes it really puts you off. And of course I am a human being who makes mistakes and says things wrong or whatever. I'm not a perfect person and I do make mistakes, and they are often pointed out, which is fine. Now, I'm not talking about like constructive criticism comments. I'm talking about the other ones. I think you know what I mean. But it definitely makes it less appealing to do more information sharing stuff. Like maybe it's better to just do videos like repots and mention things in that format instead. I think it would be better received. So I am kind of thinking on that a bit about whether I will continue with that or not, you know. Like any, I've just spilled almost all of that on my socks there, which are white. Like any type of video like that I do, whether it's the plant basics or like a deep dive into something, I will always research it as much as possible, because like I don't rely on my own knowledge, because a lot of the time I have a lot to learn about these topics, and what I'll often do is I'll come up with an idea, I will research it, I'll kind of familiarize myself with it, I'll digest the information, and then I'll kind of form my own opinion on it, and then that's when I'll make the video, and I'll generally script it out about the points that I want to hit, so it's kind of a well-organized video, and then I'll film it. It's not like I do those things without considering or researching stuff, you know. I think this plant will be much happier in here, to be honest. It will hold moisture better. It also provides it with a bit extra space. Always reusing my substrate, roots and all. Okay, let me show you what this looks like. The plant really wants to lean forward no matter what I do. It's very pretty. Honestly, one of my favorite begonias. Beautiful patterns, spiky leaves, has the hairs, has red, all these coloring. Back of the leaves are cool. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. Right, next up I want to, now unfortunately this has been very recently watered, but today is the day. Monstera Friedrichstahli, which is not called that, and I've forgotten the real name because I didn't update my plant tag. So it is something else, which I found when I was researching a favorites video and I always look up the plants on Plants of the World online, and this was telling me that Friedrichsthalii is just kind of a synonym of the actual species. So I'll find that and put it on the screen for you guys. This one deserves a nice medium-sized pot, which is quite the upgrade, but I won't fill it up to the brim, I think. So upcoming on the channel, we have, you know, various videos like these kind of repots and chores. I also have an aquatic plants update, which is not a positive one, but it will lead to a bigger plant project that I'm going to film. Probably will be a two-parter because there's quite a bit in it, but that is coming up. Haven't filmed or done any of that, I'm just kind of preparing for it. This is not necessarily as root bound as I expected, but those are some chunky roots at the bottom. They're juicy. So this might be too much of an up pot, so I'm going to really be gentle with her. Just filling in the sides, I reckon. What else is coming up? There will be a houseplant tour, the big task of the summer. Yes, there will be a houseplant tour. I am just going to get through a couple of my, you know, chores like this, like repots and stuff like that, before I even start to film it. But as you know, that is quite the task. It's always the longest type of video that I do, and that most plant YouTubers do. But always well received. So yeah, that will be coming, but that's probably a good month or two away. Definitely about 2 months away. But always thinking about how to make them interesting as well, because people like to see the species and like to have a chat through. But if you do that with everything, it gets a bit crazy lengthwise, you know, so, but that will be coming. Done and dusted. Needs some kind of a stake, but I don't have them with me right now, so I will stick one in the near future. Definitely needs something. Something to help. We would put you back there. I have also bought some new plants for the first, like, online proper, you know, proper new exciting plants, which I haven't done in an incredibly long time. So that's really exciting. I'll definitely film when I get them and unbox them and stuff. Next one that needs a little bit of help is my verrucosum. Actually, both verrucosum need to be potted, but the one growing on the wall is a task for another day. It is not today, that's what I tell you. So this is the one I have on that terracotta stand above my desk. So it's a small version. And this one I let hang because I'm kind of interested to see what's it gonna do. Like, what happens when you don't give it a gorgeous plant wall to climb up on. Now it is obviously kind of scraggly. It's unlikely to get mature. The leaves are getting bigger, but there will probably be a limit to that. But I am excited to see just what it does on its own. However, there is a lot of weight on this, and there are already kind of these wrinkles. They're like, yeah, brown kind of wrinkles. So it does put a lot of pressure on here. I'm not sure how that will go, but I'm not overly concerned if this doesn't work out. It is a duplicate and I have plenty of cuttings rooting in water as well. So, but it does dry out quite often. So it is definitely in need of a slightly bigger pot. So yes, very excited for the new plants. They should be coming possibly next week. So yeah, a traditional plant haul is upcoming. Other than that, personal life has been very busy. Work has been really good, learning a lot, going on lots of different types of surveys, traveling a lot. I don't love the way that came out, to be honest. I think that it was probably too much of a cocoa peat heavy mix, and it didn't really gel together very nicely. The roots, yeah, the roots didn't really grab onto that very well, so I think it was lacking a bit of texture. You can see how fine that is. Well, there was a leca ball there. It was really just vermiculite and cocoa fibre, which is not really good enough, I think. So I'm going to mix that in so it's reused. It's not a waste, but it needs a bit of help. See what I mean? That's a bit sad. Hopefully this will help. Obviously, in the real world, not the indoor growing world, obviously loads of things are in bloom at the moment in Ireland. So really exciting time to get out and practice plant ID skills and find new species that I haven't seen yet. So that's been really exciting. And I'm grateful to have the free time to do things like that as well. It's not lost on me. So I have been trying to enjoy that a bit as well. Now that should definitely be enough. I'm a bit afraid with how small that root system is and how much substrate there is now, but I think it will help to have more moisture retention at least, and also help the roots anchor down a little bit. Yeah, so that is that. And very pretty. As always, still one of my favorite plants. So I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't have a whole lot. Is there anything small I still have left to do? Yeah, I think I will leave it there for today. So I will leave this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope maybe if you have quite a few things to do on your list, that it will give you a kick up the butt to start doing so. Just get in your comfies, stick on a movie, and just spend some time with your plants. Chill out, be mindful, spend some quality time with your plants. Yeah, this plant room has really developed so much. I was recently putting in a clip of an old video into a new video, and I noticed like how bare this room used to look, especially like this corner. And I was like, wow, it's changed so much. It's really funny to think about. And oh, light is gone. And yeah, it's so packed full of plants, like it's insane. So I really look forward to filming the houseplant tour and showing you guys everything. I mean, you see it in every video, but up close and personal is always nice. So that is it for this video. I'm sure there will be more repots in the very near future, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye.